What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the absolute best show in all of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. You know what time it is. It is the Royal Rundown. I am one half of your hosting duo, SERG VICENTE. Joining me is my sister from another mister, Miss Drede. Miss Drede, what is going on?
Hello.
Okay, let's see. Let's get yeah, there we go. If you guys are watching us currently, we are also live. We are live right now on Instagram as well as live on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us. Do us a favor, please like, share, and subscribe. To not only this video, please check out everything else we have at the fight, the fight podcast, as well as the Royal. We have now follow our Substack as well. We have some great articles at Substack. Check us out there as well. Not only check us out at Substack, check us out our merch. We have great merch as well. We have mugs, we have things and everything. And I made sure when on there, everything is up and rocking as well on our Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/the-fight-pod-shop. We even have some new things on there. We have some hats now as well.
Yes.
Obviously, shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts. Check those out. Support the show. Thank you guys so much. All right. We have a lot to get to today. The world of pro wrestling and sports entertainment. It's interesting. And Drake, correct me if I'm wrong. If we're looking at everything else in the world, things seem to be on the downslope right now. We look at the movie industry. It seems like it's down. We're looking at different businesses and things like that. They're going down. But the one thing that seems like it's really kicking butt right now are sports, especially professional wrestling. It seems like we're hitting another kind of golden era of pro wrestling, and I think that was really evident this past weekend at the Fanatics Fest, which we will talk about as well later on in the show. Dre, what do you think about that?
I think it's dope. I mean, I think women's basketball and professional wrestling are just two of the lovely things that if you that are just kind of at an all-time high.
Yes.
Wrestling, I think has had several highs throughout the years or whatever, but it's just nice to see that it's, wrestling's turn again. And, those of us who are just been fans forever, we're just happy to see it all. So it's a good time.
We're loving it. We're loving it. But I'll tell you one thing that we are not loving. It seems like one of our legends keeps going out there and just making a fool of himself. And where is the Iron Sheik when you need him?
Heaven.
We have in heaven. In heaven, I'm sure he's saying the exact same thing in heaven. Mm-hmm. F this guy. Hulk Hogan continues to go out there and soil his legacy. If you guys did not see it, he already went out there and spoke at the Republican National Convention. Speaking of National Convention, the DNC was lit last night. Oh my God!
And where is it? I'm sorry.
In the wonderful city of Chicago, Illinois, holding it down in the city. That we both were raised. So salute to everything that's going on there. But I have to bring this up because Hulk Hogan, who did speaks real quick. Shout out to Barack and Michelle Obama. Like you almost forgot what it felt like to have adults in a room. It's really one of those things. So salute to everybody who spoke. Even Doug Emhoff, he went out there. He had a great speech as well. And shout out to Little John.
His children produced a beautiful video before Doug's speech. That was really. Yeah. And I'm sorry, produced by their mother, his ex-wife's production company. Just a beautiful, lovely family moment. That was fly. Yeah.
Beautiful mixed family there. I love seeing what I'm seeing from them, but I digress. Let's talk about this fool Hulk Hogan. He was supposed to have a movie. He was supposed to have a movie coming out, a biopic with the great Chris Hemsworth that was supposed to star as Hulk Hogan. And since the recent things, they have pulled that and canceled that film. So that is no longer happening. So yes, that is happening. He also went out recently, was drunk off of his behind. And now you guys can see this floating around the interwebs or X. In fact, if you follow my page at the SERG VICENTE on X, you will actually see this. I'll post this in a little bit. But Hulk Hogan went out there and was drunk on stage and said, "Want me to body slam Kamala Harris?" And then he continues to go and say, "I said, do you want me to body slam Kamala Harris? Want me to drop a leg on Kamala? Is she Indian? Is she a chameleon?" And he continues to say racist, outlandish things. And look, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Hulk Hogan has completely just crushed his legacy. We're talking about a guy who was America's sweetheart. He was one of the people that really ushered in pro wrestling to America. He's one of the first people that I really loved. I mean, I can't stunt. I used to watch the hell out of Tropic Thunder back in the day. So it's hard to see things like that, especially knowing who he is and what he has said, especially about Black people. I have to say this. I stand with the Iron Sheik when I say fuck Hulk Hogan. Great. Anything you want to say about this?
Yeah, I'll keep it simple. I mean, we are of a certain, age. And so Hulk Hogan is probably one of the first professional wrestlers that we, especially our generation kind of knew and recognized and saw in popular culture. And it is unfortunate for someone to mean so much to an industry specifically to end up being kind of who we're seeing him to be. I think that when you give bigots second chances, they, that the mask will always come off at some point, no matter how reformed they want to come pretend to be or how sorry they seem to say they are. Their true colors will always come out So yeah, my pops used to have a Hulk Hogan mask, and because Macho Man Randy Savage was my favorite wrestler, we used to have fake, wrestling matches all the time when I was a little
Macho
kid.
Man
So
was the man.
That was my favorite wrestler when I was a kid, G. That was my favorite guy. That was my guy.
Former pro baseball player.
Downers Grove, born and raised, Downers Grove, Illinois, right over here in a suburb.
There you go. Chi-town of Jace.
All that, but it's just, whatever. I think that we're already giving him too much air and oxygen and airtime.
I was just about to, once you're done, I'm closing it out.
That's that and on that and
that's that
whatever.
And all that. Well, we do have, aside from a fantastic DNC in Chicago this week, we also have an awesome professional wrestling show. I have always been very highly critical of AEW when it comes to their day-to-day business and the shows that they're putting on, the connections with the storytelling. But one thing they never miss, and I repeat, they never miss, is when they have their pay-per-views, especially in All In. And this weekend, I do not expect anything different. We're going to go ahead and break that card down for you guys, but we're going to start off with this one. We're going to talk about the lovely ladies. We're going to talk about Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker. That fight, that, what I'm saying? She's getting it. So, Dre, I have to ask you, the build up to this, how do you see this going?
I think the build's been fine. It's been fun. This whole feud, in my personal opinion, has been fine, very fine. Nothing spectacular, nothing amazing, but obviously nothing terrible. I do think that the match is going to be fun. Mercedes is a professional. She's one of the best women's wrestlers in the world. She's one of the best wrestlers in the world. And so I expect nothing less, in terms when it comes to the match itself. I'm interested to see what Britt Baker's gonna, kind of come back with. Britt I enjoy her character work, but she just wasn't like for me in terms of, I know everyone loves her and she's one of AEW's top faces and things and that nature. So I think this is a great first real feud for Mercedes and AEW. I think this is a great comeback feud for Britt Baker. I'm very interested to see who's going to go over, especially with All Out coming soon in Chicago, which I will be at. So
best
interesting to see.
Town in the country, hands down.
Easily. And people who upset that Chicago always gets a show, y'all could just stay mad. Sorry. So there's that.
People have to understand when you're getting pops and the energy, the way that you do when you're in the arenas. One thing that people always criticize is when we're seeing these huge shows outside of the U.S. We're seeing the shows in Leon. We're seeing the show in Puerto Rico. We're seeing everyone always
crowd.
Oh my God, these crowds are so amazing. Well, guess what? Chicago has that type of crowd, and every time that's really what it is, and that's why Chicago continues to get these type of matches. So, Dre, so that's what who do you think is going to win this match? Will Mercedes Moné retain, or will Britt Baker go ahead and get that dub?
I think we talked about this last week. The money is always when the baby face is in the chase. So I think it makes sense for Mercedes to win, especially with Camille. Camille coming through with an assist, I'm sure. Interesting to see if Britt has someone else make a comeback in Wembley. So I think that'll be, I think we're all kind of looking to see if, she's got a homegirl that we haven't seen in a little while come back. We'll see how that goes too. So it'll be interesting. But I still think Mercedes goes over.
Okay, I agree. I think Mercedes goes over. Really quick, and I want to move on from this one quickly. How do you think her time? Well, let's grade it. A, B, C, D, F. Her run with AEW thus far.
I would say, for me,
it's a C.
Yeah, I was gonna give it like a B minus, but
yeah,
it's a B because her work is good. The work is good, right?
Is good, for sure.
The storylines are okay, but
Average,
everything is just very fine right now. Personally, I hate the CEO song. I hate it. I hate the dance. I hate it. But I understand it. I get it. It could be better. It just could be better. In my personal opinion, but I still think it's a strong B minus. I think that this match is a crucial point in the moment. I think that'll let us know a lot, that'll let us know where we're going so to speak. So I'm looking forward to it. I know everybody, like you said, AEW does a really great job with pay-per-views. Everybody comes to play. Everybody come to work. Everybody comes to work.
They do. They do.
And so I think we're going to be very entertained all the way through. And so I'm excited to see where we're going. But I think Mercedes, she goes over in this one.
Copy. I agree. All right. Moving on along to the one that I think a lot of individuals are really looking forward to. And I know I am, because, again, something that the AEW does extremely well is they work. Those individuals there put their working boots on, especially for pay-per-views. And I think this match might end up being one of those matches of the year, if it really boils down to it. MJF versus UK Seth Rollins, Will Ospreay. So, how do you see this going? And I'll be honest with you.
I think
I haven't been. What was that?
I think we spelled Osprey wrong, but we'll figure it out.
I'll fix it.
It's a lot of vowels in that joint. G. Ocean Spray. That's my guy.
But who do you see they going over with this?
I think they give the hometown what we want. I think Will goes over in this. I think they made MJF's Great America, Make America Great Again gimmick, I think was for a moment. And this is for that moment, right? Making that title the United States, whatever the America title. Right. I think that was for a moment and for a reason. And I think this is for that reason. I think this is for that. This is that reason. Give that Wembley gonna go crazy when Will pins that man 1, 2, 3. Absolutely. And I think you need that moment for the show. So I'm going Will going over for this one. MJF's fine. He can lose. Nobody will die.
MJF can definitely lose. And it's funny. It's something that I've noticed as well. His return has not had the heat that he once was. I don't think people are really happy with it. And again, he doesn't have that same energy that he once did. So not that he can't get it back. He can, evolve. He can grow. And I think people want to get behind him. Unfortunately, this is something that we've talked about on this show before. I feel as if sometimes his gimmick has gotten a little stale. So and I think that's why people were so happy when he turned into a face and he was out there, trying to be buddy. What was that?
Kangaroo kicking.
Oh, it was great. It was great. So I'm curious to see what happens with that one. But I agree with you. Will Ospreay is going to definitely win this match. Again, one of the absolute best performers in the entire world. I'm talking about Will, Kenny Omega, Seth Rollins. I mean, these type of dudes are workers. I'm going to throw Ricochet in that mix because, again, he's
and our boy Fergal.
Oh my God, Fergalicious! If you guys don't know who we're talking about, we're talking about the man Fer. You figure that out yourself. But
figure it out yourself.
But no, we love that, and it's gonna be really great. I think it's gonna be a fun match. Really, might be again 5-star match. I can see it happening.
This is one everyone's looking forward to, right? We're gonna be interested to see it.
One that I am looking forward to. Because again, we're talking about technical wrestling, and we know this is going to be some real good collar and elbow. We have for the championship of the world, Swerve Strickland versus Bryan Danielson.
Whew.
This one has, I think, out of all of them, they've really done a great job of actually building this matchup. They've done a really good job. You have the uncertainty of Bryan Danielson really being shoot injured, which I think is something that's something to really watch for. And again, you discussed this earlier. This is a title versus kind of career match. What do you see happening in this match, and how have you enjoyed the build up to this one?
This one gonna stress me out. This is the one. This is the one I'm gonna be set up with my popcorn and everything. I'm gonna phone down. We're gonna really have to. We're gonna watch this because you have to think about the two outcomes, right? We have two very cool outcomes. Either thing happening is great because everyone's gonna be a G after this. So Swerve winning means him and Hangman get to fight for the title at All Out, right?
Right.
That's blood feud plus title. That's adding stakes for a couple weeks from now. That is great, right? And then you have this wonderful moment in Wembley with Brian's whole family, Brie and the babies in the front, and we get boots in the ring and all of the emotions, and the thank you Brian chants from Wembley and the songs, and it's going to be 30 minutes long of goodbye and thank you, right? It's going to be like that is a moment. That's a TV moment. As a producer, like you're like, and this is the moment we're looking for, right? As the director, this is what you want. As a fan, you want to be a part of that. You get to say, oh my gosh. And then Swerve gets to say that he retired the greatest wrestler of our generation.
For sure.
Yeah. Lit. Like, wonderful, right? And for someone with Swerve's ego, that's gonna be amazing, right? the man's gonna be out of this world. On the other hand, we get one more if Brian wins, we get one more Bryan Danielson championship run before he really does call it quits. And then you really do get, in my personal opinion, it'd be really cool because Swerve and him will do a rematch. And then if Swerve really does retire him after that, you still get it. You still get this moment. So like and they're both from Washington. I mean, it's a lot, like there's a lot going on here.
A lot of connections there. A lot of connections.
Yeah. I can't tell you what I think is going to happen. I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue who's winning this. This is going to be one of the ones where like, look, the group chat is going to have to shut up because the phone's going to be down. And we're gonna be really focused on this because it's just what, as a wrestling fan, like AEW does, and also AEW does retirements wonderfully. We've already seen it. They did Sting beautifully. So, we know Brian's time is running out. We just don't know if it's now, right? And so I think this is probably one of the best built matches as well. Absolutely. Off the strength of that alone. And then of course you got Hangman kind of hanging around here for Swerve after all of this. So that's another piece that is exciting, quality, good work between those two as well. You just never know what's going to happen here. And so this is the match I think most people are the most excited about, and I'm one of them. Because it's going to just be really nail biting. This is the ones that's going to stress me out in the best way. That's, as a wrestling fan, you want to be stressed like this for a match like this.
It's great. And it's good because, like you said, we really don't know. Again, we have certain matches that I think, for prime example, Battle of Berlin and WWE has, we have Randy Orton versus Gunther. We do not believe that Gunther is going to lose. That's not a possibility in most of our minds. So to be able to see an outcome or a match coming around in this way where you don't really know, because we don't want to see Bryan Danielson go anywhere. He's one of the greatest of all time. In some people, he's their GOAT.
He is their GOAT. Yeah.
He is their GOAT.
And no one's really fighting you. Like, even if they're not your GOAT, you're like, I'm not mad at that pick.
I'm not mad. Yeah. If Bryan Danielson is your GOAT, he's a great one. Again, Bryan Danielson, Finn Balor, who's Fergalicious, who I was talking about earlier, and those type of guys that are quote unquote normal sized people that have gone out there and that are just technically better than everybody else. And you really look at it, people like Bryan Danielson and Finn Balor, Kenny Omega, these are the guys that have more influence than most do on the industry as a whole. So I'm really interested to see this match. Swerve has consistently, again, we're talking about people who's a performer all the way from his days back in Lucha Underground. This dude can perform, and he's going to continue doing so. I can't wait for this match. All right, moving right along. That's what we're going to talk about. AEW. The rest of the card is going to be fantastic. It's going to be like 6 hours long, but it's going to be fun. All right, let's talk about the WWE really quick, and I do want to talk about the Fanatics weekend, because they absolutely took over Fanatics weekend, and it honestly proves that right now they have more star power than truly any other industry in the world right now. And it's really crazy to see that. They had more people in line for pro wrestlers than the NBA players did in New York City, and that says a lot. But before I get to that, let's keep it a little AEWE with a little WWE. The word on the street is that Ricky Stark is gone and he is heading to NXT. What do you feel? Do you feel that this is something that's actually going to happen? Do you think this is just a done deal? Because we already know Ricky Stark, he got his two buddies over in the WWE now, who is Cody Rhodes and, you know, and CM Punk. Is he gone?
If he ain't, he should be.
He should be. He is not being utilized to the best of his ability.
And, you know, I've sat up here on this lovely, I am the AEW person out of the two of us, right?
What you mean?
I had to bring you around. Part? I had to drag you over here, and you know it. And you know it. And I successfully did, because I'm a very persuasive guy. No, but if he's not, he should be. And it's just the better place for him. It's also, and I don't want to make it sound like AEW is like a training ground, because it's not. I just think for him particularly, it's the next logical step for him. Just like Jade, and I'm going to say just like Jade. Just like Jade. Absolutely. It's just the next logical space and place for him.
Absolutely.
I'm going to say this sentence and then I'm going to explain myself. There's nothing else for him to do in AEW. And I mean that. Granted, we would have loved to see him in a
He should have gotten a title run.
Him and MJF should have been.
And they fumbled it.
Him and MJF should have been in this collision course for the. We've talked about this on this show plenty of times. Yes. And for some reason, Tony and them, they just aren't going to do it. Fine. And we're not. And hands up, cool, whatever it is. Go on over there to the Heartbreak Kid.
Let him be the one to beat Obafemi before you send Oba to the main roster.
Or have him beat Ethan Page.
Had him at 1,000%
Ethan Page, you know, again, another AEW, which that was surprising to me that Ethan went to NXT, but he's a great fit there.
Absolutely.
Great fit there. And
everybody, honestly, who's left AEW and gone to WWE, they're actually better WWE fits.
And it's just fit. It really, like, a lot of it isn't. A lot of people, and we know we talk up, you know, IWC loves to talk about who's got misused and yada yada here, and there is some of that in both places, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's also just times where you're just like, you know, actually, you're just a better fit over here versus over there. It ain't got nothing to do with misuse, right? Nope. So I think that's the case with Ethan. I think that is absolutely the case with Ricky Starks.
Yep.
And we love Mr. Pretty Ricky Starks. That's our guy. And you know, shout out to him. And we just wish him the best. We want to see him on our television screens more often.
Yes.
We miss him on our screens. And he's just real good at the wrestling stuff. He's just real good at it.
Incredible performer.
Good at everything. He's good at everything.
So good at everything. All right. Yeah. I teased it a little earlier. Let's talk about this really quick. WWE at Fanatics Fest in New York this weekend, they were head and shoulders the stars of the show. You had yeah, Triple H running around handing out championship belts, and everybody was like a little kid getting that belt.
Shaking
Didn't
hands and
nobody in that didn't
kissing
want
babies.
1000%. What were your thoughts on this?
The most shocking thing for me was seeing CM Punk in a suit. Now I know he wears I know Punk wears suits and stuff when he's doing commentary for
He does.
MMA and all that, but just again, it was just like I'm still used to I'm just not used to seeing Punk looking like that, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And all respect to Miss AJ Lee, respectfully, but Punk out here looking real good these days. No. In real life though, excuse me. In real life, I just think again, we talked about this earlier in terms of wrestling just having a moment.
Yeah.
Wrestling having a moment, just kind of again, I keep it akin to women's, WNBA.
Yeah.
There's these are niche sports, and I'm saying niche because that's what the industry would call them, right? The industry would call these things niche sports, and they've always had fans. They've always had nerds out for there's always been wrestling fans, there's always been women's athletics fans, and just for the mainstream to kind of catch up.
Oh yeah.
Knowing about it is always cool to see. I love that WWE went to the Fanatics Fest and like outshined other, sports and things of that nature. Because if you think about it, those of us who know, we know that all athletes love pro wrestling. All athletes love pro wrestling. So that's why the TKO thing works so perfectly. MMA fighters want to be wrestlers, the wrestlers want to be MMA fighters. Like
seriously.
It's just like rappers wanting to be ballers and ballers want to be rappers. It's the same thing. It's the very same thing. So I just think it's really cool that wrestling is having a moment. It's a moment that's probably more sustainable now because of all of the technology and the social medias and all the new practices of marketing and things of that nature. So I think it's just a really good time, really fun time to be a wrestling fan.
Oh my God. It is one of the best times to be a pro wrestling fan. And I think again, it's something that we're all just going to continue really enjoying and seeing, throughout. So yeah, I can't wait for this. This is going to be one of those things that it's going to continue to grow. And seeing them truly being stars right now in this, it's pretty incredible. So
something to also consider. Something to also consider is that the new leadership allowing them to do things like this.
Truly,
because cons are nothing new, right? Festivals and things are nothing new, and little, certain festivals and certain cons and stuff, talent was allowed to go to, but I feel like leadership is kind of the newer leadership is just more in the know.
They're really pushing them to it, and they're really making certain that this is like one of they are proving that they are ticket getters, and they're proving that they're bringing a wrestling boom is back again. It feels like, and again, we're people that were seasoned enough to remember the Attitude Era. So
almost seasoned. He called us
we enough for the Attitude Era. So I'm happy to see what's going on there. But let's keep it in the WWE really fast, and we're gonna get out of here with you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. Do us a favor, please like, share, and subscribe to this video and everything else that we have. And again, check us out. We have merch as well. Etsy.com/shop/thefightpodshop. T-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, mugs, everything's dope. Please check us out today. You guys will absolutely love it. Love it. All right. Let's talk about this. And I think this was really something because I swear to you, I feel like Trips was in our group chat and we talked about how people of color, black folks specifically have not been getting shine in the WWE. But there seems like now that we have some storylines. The Street Profits, we'll talk about in a moment, are doing some things. We're going to make this quick, but I want to get your thoughts on this. The New Day, got Odyssey Jones, who I'm a huge fan of. He's really doing his thing. But it seems like they're teasing some heat. They're teasing a little, something in the relationship between Kofi and King Woods. I still call him King Woods because he's Kang, and we respect him in that manner. So what are your thoughts on this? Are they going to break up? Who, if they do break up, who's it going to be? Oh, don't be sad.
Stressed. You see how I'm stressed out? That's how the storyline got me stressed. First of all, shout out to all the Day One New Day fans, okay? All of just period. Man, just okay.
It hurts your heart.
You see, I can't even finish a sentence when I talk about this. Before I go there, this is entertaining television, okay?
Oh,
This is
so
entertaining television. Every time they're on screen, I'm paying attention. Again, phone down, what's happening, who's, what is it now? Is it now? Is it gonna happen now? Like we're all just kind of waiting for someone to turn on someone else, right?
Oh, absolutely.
It's kind of obvious. It looks like it's gonna be Woods, but then it might actually, I think the adjustment of it maybe being Kofi instead of Woods is a little bit more interesting. I think I just kind of decided this the other day, or when I was watching Raw. I think we're gonna get a turn from one of them. I actually think it might be Kofi. I think
Really?
that's the more interesting story. So I'm gonna go with Kofi.
Let me ask you this:
And
why do you think why is Kofi the more interesting story of the individuals that ends up turning?
I just think that Kofi has been a face. The only time he was a heel was when New Day with heels.
True.
And he's been in the business longer than both E and Woods, right? He's been in WWE longer than
That's
both
real.
E and Woods. So to me, I just think that's a little more interesting.
I can see that.
Woods, who is he's just so good at things. I think he's just a very talented dude. He's a good actor. Like I just to throw it all
Yeah.
out there. So like I think he would play a really good heel too, but I just feel like we feel Woods. Like we get like he's
Yeah.
not wrong to feel a way about Odyssey Jones kind of popping in here as like the replacement for E.
And
So
I
like
like
I
that
think
they put that out there
that
and he said that, right?
yes, and he just said it, right? We don't have to pretend like that's not the elephant in the room. No, we're just gonna talk about it, right? So
Right.
I just feel like that Woods is as the way the story is kind of set up, we as the fans understand Woods, we would be on his side. And so I think it's just more fun. And I just gonna see Kofi on his, jerk Shawn Michaels stuff and Odyssey kind of being the Kevin Nash enforcer
Which
on
would
this
be
whole moment
fun.
in a moment. And
Yeah.
of course, in my lovely, most positive brain, I'm still hoping that E comes back and kind of he's the reason.
I'll be
After like
honest with
I
you.
think we get a feud, and then he's the reason that everybody kind of gets their life together and comes back. Some
And,
kind
and
of
and honestly, between you and I can absolutely see that being the case. I can
yeah.
see being the case that he's the reason that that it ends up going to what it is. I can see him being the reason that people are like, yo, uh enough of this foolishness. We're brothers. Let's do this. So
Literally, literally.
I hope to see that happen. I obviously, we're such Biggie fans here. Speaking of the Fanatics Fest, Drew McIntyre even teased it, that he said that would be his dream
That's his
matchup, would
dream
be Big
match. Yeah.
E. So I would love to see what happens. And also, because this guy, I think, is in need of some redemption, and he just did some stuff with Chase U. Shout out to Rich Holland. And I'm gonna throw this out there because
Wow.
I think he got sent down to NXT because, I mean, it was essentially a punishment. You injured somebody that it might have changed the course of their entire career. And I think a lot of people didn't want to play with him no more. You know what I'm saying? You break your toys, people don't want to play with you anymore. And he had an issue of that. So you saw when he won this past week, you saw how excited he actually was. So just because I just want to keep this positive energy going, salute to Ridge Holland.
Yeah, I
That's
think,
the
and
New Day energy I just brought.
I would also think that, like, that I understand that point of view too. But on the other, like, I'm just kind of thinking on the other flip side too. Think about how horrible he feels too, right? Like he knows
Oh my God. I'm sure he
the
feels the
mistake.
worst.
Exactly. And so to be able to, it's like when they always tell you, when I was a cheerleader, they always say if you fall, then you have to get back up in the stunt immediately after falling, right? Because
Right.
if you don't, it gives it, you have to get back on the horse essentially, right? And so You know, I agree with you. Shout out to him for kind of getting back on the horse and doing
Yeah.
it at the level that he's doing it at. I think that's something to definitely salute. Because I mean, nobody wins in that situation. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, at
nobody wins
all.
in that situation. Nobody feels good about that. And these people, we talk about this, we're talent first here, on
Yep.
our show. And these are human beings that we're talking about. Yes, we talk about them like our toys because they're our entertainment. But outside of that, they are human beings, and they're doing
Yes.
dangerous stuff for our entertainment. That's something.
Absolutely.
And so, like, it's just I love that. Let's give them the love and the power of positivity that they deserve.
Power of positivity. See, I know you didn't see that coming today. I had to bring the power of positivity to make sure we talked about my man's.
Oh, New
But
Day.
salute to Biggie, salute to the New Day. I love that they're actually doing something because it was getting to a point that they felt extremely stagnant. It got to the point that it was just like, yo, what are we even doing? Is this even I was just frustrated because it was just like it doesn't seem like anything positive is happening here. So to be able to see
Serge is
something
a
is
new
happy.
adult fan. He's a new adult fan. He doesn't know about the ebbs and flows, and he gets frustrated.
I mean, but don't get it twisted. It's been a minute since
I
there
I
was
am
getting
not
any love.
no, and notice how like I never disagreed with you, but I always kind of jokingly say that to you because it is New Day has been around as a group long enough to have like 3 or 4 of those, right?
Yeah.
Where they're popular or they're always on TV, they're always doing something and then they're not. And then they always do something and then they're not. Like they've been through that ebb and flow. I mean, 3 or 4-ish times. So like that's why I do it with a little bit of snark for you, not because you're wrong, because you're not. You're absolutely correct. But it's just like I kept telling you, don't worry, they'll heat him back up. They do it all the time. I kept
Yeah,
telling you
it's
that.
been like 3 years. So finally,
And what I say,
it's happening. Look, they're gonna do it. Now, speaking of another team that seems like they're trying to heat them back up, yo, are the Street Profits tomorrow at SmackDown gonna beat Bloodline 2.0?
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think they are.
Oh, and you know what? I hate to say it, I agree with you. And the
Hey,
reason
let's
I agree
go.
with you is because I believe we're gonna get the return. You know what time it is. I'm not talking about Roman. I'm talking about Jimmy Uso. Is going to cost Bloodline 2.0 the title. And then once that happens, he is going to link back up because they said Roman's going to take a couple week hiatus again. My man was here for 3 weeks, didn't say one word. He just said ooh
Hey,
ah. And that's all we needed. Proving he was the biggest baby face in the business and left. And now we're going to go
John
ahead
Cena
and
told Shannon Sharp
the GOAT.
that
John
he's the
Cena
greatest of all
said
time.
Roman Reigns is the GOAT.
I would listen to because that John is a lot of people's goats. So I would listen to him.
If your GOAT calls somebody else the GOAT, that's the GOAT.
That might
That's all
be
I got to say.
you
I
might
agree
have
with
to
you.
flip that.
I think Bloodline 2.0 takes this L, man. But look, with that being said, look, there has been so much going on in the world of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. It has been a lot of fun. That's about all the time we have for the day. Dre,
Oh, we
anything you want to
got.
say before we get up out of here?
Listen, I'm just geeked because me and my sister are gonna be, and my sister and my brother-in-law, we're gonna be at All Out in Chicago. So it's up. Just lots of wrestling, lots to talk about. Interact with us, y'all. You see, we're on X. I'm on X right there. That's my X right there. I'm over there.
Yep.
Definitely go check us out at the Fight Podcast, the Real Fight Pod on Twitter as well, or X, whatever. That's Mama. Mama named it Twitter. I'm calling it Twitter. No.
I'm telling you. Follow the show at The Real
Follow
Fight
the
Pod.
show,
Follow myself
please.
at The SERG VICENTE and follow Dre at Miss Dre Day. You see it right here below. Also, like we said, Etsy.com/shop/Fight Pod Shop. Get yourself some merch today. Support the show. Support us. Check out the site. We also have
The Substack.
Substack. Yes, thank you. We have a Substack. Check out the Substack. Subscribe to that today as well. Like, share, and subscribe to this video. Everything else. We have interviews. We have so much more. Thank you guys for listening. And we are going to leave you today with the wise words. Somebody we actually talked about on the show.
This is Absolute Ricky Starks. I'm letting you know that you are listening to the Fight Podcast.
Peace.